8 new features of the iPhone 4. The first one, an all-new design. This is, beyond a doubt, the most precise thing, one of the most beautiful things we've ever made. Glass on the front and the rear, and stainless steel running around, and the precision of which this is made is beyond any consumer product we've ever seen. Its closest kin is like a beautiful old Leica camera. It's unheard of in consumer products today. Just gorgeous. And it's really thin. This is the new iPhone 4.
My name is Chris Bintliff, and these are transmissions from Not Really Rocket Science, where we study the technology, techniques, learning, and lifestyle of the modern marketing engine. iPhone and iPhone 3G and iPhone 3GS, the first 3 iPhones, really were about, I think, creating a frame of reference. We had no understanding of what it was to hold a slab of glass in our hands and tap on it and swipe on it and zoom and pinch. And all these things were a completely new language for us with technology. And Apple was just figuring out how to be the innovators on this and the inventors on this. And I think they were just getting the technology underneath them. This massive communicator, this transformational sea change device that really upended and created an entire industry. So it wasn't until iPhone 4 that I felt like Apple was taking design seriously. Maybe they were finally afforded the opportunity to take design seriously as part of the experience, the tactile experience with the iPhone. One of the things that I love about 2000s era Apple was how obviously inspired and unafraid to pay respect to the design, great industrial design and material design that came before these Apple products. You can clearly see how Braun products in the 1950s informed Apple's 2000s era, portfolio of products. And I loved that iPhone 4 had this point of view, so that one of the first things Steve Jobs said was, it looks like an old Leica camera. I have missed that idea of having a point of view on the design of iPhone. Really, with iPhone 6 and on, the iteration and innovation has been on this kind of round, soft, slippery, curved, pebble-like kind of design, which has been great. It's been beautiful. Even when we got to iPhone 10 and we lost the home button, so a completely new design, it still stayed in this language of round and thin and soft, which is cool, but I missed what I felt was a point of view that iPhone 4 and 5 took. In fact, when the first iPhone SE came out, I downgraded because I loved that form factor so much. I was so excited to see it come back. It just felt great in my hand, felt great in the pocket. It was much less slippery, much less prone to me dropping it. I just really liked that. And for me, there isn't a nostalgia or a retro sensibility or hey, this harkens back to prime Steve Jobs era Apple. I'm not even interested in those conversations. I just think the 4 and 5 were better designs, period. They just were more inspired to me. So that I would think about the 4 and 5 and compare subsequent designs to them. And I've been impressed with everything since then. Been impressed with the iterations and innovations and seeing how Apple's doing interesting engineering things with the glass and with the metal and the way that they interface and with the ways that they're strengthening glass. And that's all very cool, but I haven't really been very excited by any of it. And I am excited about the iPhone 12. It feels like they're starting to take lessons learned across, their devices and starting to apply them to one another. You can see how they used what they learned with Midnight Green, and now there's a Pacific Blue with the 12 Pro. I think that's really interesting, and I think that's fun and exciting. I also really like that this feels like maybe a new design language in general for Apple. iPad looks a lot like this. It's got edges. It's got flat sides. The XDR display, which is obviously doing a lot of crazy thermal things with the design of the back and the kind of crazy cheese grater look to that, but it also has kind of these thin, flat edges. And I would love if Apple stayed with this kind of familiar design aesthetic for a minute with these products, because for me, it's just really preferable. I just really love it. That's what I think. What do you think? Are you going to pre-order something? Are you excited? You're going to get the Pro or the great big one, or maybe down to the Mini? That's going to feel really good in the hand, I bet, or in a bag or in a pocket. Or are you hanging on to your iPhone 8 because the iterations and innovations just aren't there? Who cares? There's an argument to be made for that stuff, I think. I've got some ideas. I'll keep you posted what I decide. I'll see you next time.
Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe and comment on transmissions from Not Really Rocket Science. Learn more at notreallyrocketscience.com.